G'day and welcome back to Richard Makes Stuff, the channel where not knowing how to do something is no excuse for not having a crack. Really simple one today. I work at a desk most of the time playing with spreadsheets. I know, I can hear the envy. One thing I kind of need is a footrest. I have a standing desk or a sitting standing desk, and it's a thing that sits on top of my normal desk, which actually raises my keyboard up about that much. And it's just enough to be a little bit uncomfortable. So I've got my chair raised as high as I can to get my arms comfortable, but now my feet aren't quite comfortable. So I'm going to make just a quick footrest. I'm going to buy one, but I realised I've got enough stuff in the garage to make my own. So a little while ago, we pulled apart an old treadmill. Walking treadmill, and to change the height on this one, it had these little things. So depending on where that is, depending on the height, I thought that'd be perfect to make the footrest. So I thought I'm going to use these for the front feet so I can raise and lower it. And with a few bits of wood there behind me, I thought offcuts, that'll do just fine for making the rest of it. So really quick build. I provided I don't make a mess. If I do, we'll get to share that. So without further ado, I'm going to cut some pieces up, and then when I've cut the pieces up, we'll come back and I'll show you how it's going to go together. All right, back in a tick with some cut up bits of wood. All right, we've done a whole lot of cutting. I know you can only see part of my head, but I figured I'd show you the piece rather than my head. See my mouth talking, so if you need to read lips, hey, we're good. All right, so what we've done, we've cut my piece of wood, and from the offcut on the side, I've made these two. So that'll be the height of it at the back. Hole goes through there. So this screw sits through there, so that'll hinge nicely on there. So that way, when I raise and lower it, the back legs will stay firmly on the ground. So that's nice and simple there. Little block with a pre-drilled hole that'll sit under the back there for these to screw into, so they'll be screwed down through the top. They'll be screwed down through the top. They'll bolt onto the side. At the front, I've taken the edge off that because that's going to sit under there. So if this front edge is down low to the ground, I don't want the block being in the way, because this is where this thing's going to bolt through. It'll bolt through there. So the way these things work, there's a little push out and that will rotate. But what I need is something, because that's just going to fall off there. So if I don't have that solid, so I've made some spaces. So the bolt will go, right through, right, and that will then bolt through that. So the only thing I've got left to do here now is so that you'll notice the thread doesn't go all the way down, so I'm going to have to tap the thread further down. So we're going to tap the thread further down, and the other thing that we are going to need to do before I can put this together is this comes through to there, but I'm going to need to put a disc or something around that there, so this isn't just going to pop off and the whole thing will go wonky. So next thing we're going to do, I'm going to find a piece for that. We're going to tap these, and then pretty much we're ready to put this thing together. Said, this is meant to be a quick one today, so let's work on that. So let's get that tapped and let's find something for there. All right, back in a tick. All right, we're back. Small change of plans. Turns out most of my nuts and bolts are metric. My tap and die set's metric. These bolts I found, which are the perfect size for what I want, they're 5/16, not metric. I don't have the die that'll extend that thread. So we're going to have to go with another option, which means I'm not entirely sure it's going to be strong enough, but we're going to find out, because if it's not, I'll just have to go and get some longer bolts and redo it later. So instead, we're going to go with some coach bolts. So that'll go through, no more tapping needed. A little disappointing, but said I'm building this out of scrap, so I don't want to go and buy more stuff. This is just the stuff I've got lying around. So I've made my washer. So that'll go through there. The washer onto there. I'll probably put a metal washer in there just to space it. All right, and then put that on there. What I'll do is I'm going to glue these two pieces together, just so that it holds it, and that'll be my little shim. That'll help space that. I've just got to sand them down a little bit. Now, the way I made this, the way I made these things, was just got my biggest hole saw and drilled a hole, and that's the centerpiece from that hole saw. So I will sand these down so they fit loosely in here. It's not meant to be snug because it's meant to be able to turn without actually putting any pressure on it. So I'll get that done, and then we're going to put it all together. Now, for the cover of that, for the top of that, that's just a smooth white thing. I've got some old carpet squares, and I'll just cut a piece of that up and put that on top, so I'll have something sort of non-stick to put my foot on, because I'm not going to put the feet on there and have it sliding around. Often in the middle of, when I'm working from home, I'm probably just in a pair of socks or bare feet. I don't want to put my feet, socks will slip on that. So I'll sand these down till they fit nicely in here. Then we'll put this all together, and we'll see what it looks like. See if I have a decent footrest with bits lying around in the garage. Right, we've glued and put these together. They'll take a little while to dry, but in the meantime, we can get that out of your face. In the meantime, we'll put the bits of wood onto here, so we can then put the whole thing together. Just got to remember, I'm only going to just put a couple of screws in each end into here. Just got to make sure I don't put the screw down the middle, because then my bolt going in there is going to hit the screw. Normally, I'd make that mistake, but I've made that mistake enough times, I'm actually starting to think about it. Easiest way to do this is let's just sit the whole thing up on blocks like I'm pinching a car. Don't pinch cars. Right, that's the easiest way. Line these up. So what I'm going to do, I think I will drill a small pilot hole into these first. Before I do these, put these screws in, just so I don't get wood splitting and whatnot, because I'm going to be drilling close to the edge. And push me, I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. Right. Alright, let's get you guys a little bit closer for this one. Yeah, see what I'm doing now? I kind of figured you didn't come here just to watch from afar and go, what the heck's he doing? Mind you, you're probably still asking that anyway, aren't you? Right, let's drill one hole here. And one about there. That's away from the middle. Actually, that's a bit close to the edge there, and with that splitting. Now, what I've started using, can I get this? Look at that. Can you see that? That's a square head. I've started using these screws. I found that on another woodworking channel that I was following, or that I do follow. I love them. They don't strip out anywhere near as much as the Phillips head or crosscut head do, which means this wood is soft enough that this will probably countersink itself. And if it doesn't perfectly, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to put the carpet over the top. That's it. This is a quick build. Look at that. That is held in place. All right, let's get the other ones done. Right, we have these legs on the bottom, little pilot holes in each side. That'll tell me, that'll line up where these screws are going to go into. These ones are already pre-drilled to fit these. They'll be nice and tight, which is what I want. So all I can do now is I can get the back legs on, right? Put the back legs onto there. So it'll sit like that. I'll get that done now, and then while these are drying, I will find a piece of carpet for the top. We might even stick that down while waiting. And then we'll come back in an hour or two and we'll finish this off. Right, so let's get these on. So all I'm doing for this, there's a washer here. Let me show you the actual head. Just a washer on there, that'll go through. I'll put another washer in there and then tighten it up and then just loosen enough so that this can swing. As this isn't going to move much, it's going to stay still almost the whole time. There really doesn't seem to be a lot of point to go to over-engineer putting this in. I'm going to have to do it like that. To be honest, that's looking a bit higher at the back than I would like. Let me give you a better view of that. It's a little higher at the back than I think I might like. Easy solution is if it is too high, and I'll put it in place and try it out, I'll just take a slice off the bottom of each of these and that'll lower the back. But I will wait until the front ones are in place and I will try it in situ and we'll see. Let's get these nipped up. Doesn't that look good? Hinges nicely. They're not going anywhere, but the only movement that's ever going to see is like that. But then they're going to come out. Right, let's go find some carpet. This is a floor tile. These were very large floor tiles that I got from a friend whose other friend was stripping out an old shop fit out for the new shop fit out coming in, or new office fit out coming in. These were destined for the scrap heap, so he collected a pile of them. I had 20 or 30 of them. I've actually used quite a few of them. I used them to floor the old caravan up the back. The sound booth at our church has had them used for their flooring in there. I've got a few I used down the other end of the garage where I've got the rowing machine, which I almost never use, but I should. And and I'll just slowly cutting these up and using them as I need to. Other side there's got a bit of a few stains on it, so I'm not going to use that. So I've already measured it. That's what I need. So we're going to cut that and we're going to glue it to the surface. Right, nice and simple. One carpet tile. Isn't that a thing of beauty? That'll sit on there nicely, and that'll give me somewhere nice to put my feet on. Alright, spray adhesive it is. First up, quick clean up of that surface, quick clean up of this, spray the adhesive, stick it on, job's a good one. Alright, now that that is done, and we have a very nice wonky there. It feels a bit wonky there, but I think once the front lead's on, that'll hold it there. Does want to tip a bit, doesn't it? If it wants to tip a bit that way when I'm doing that, I think what I may need to do is to recut, make triangular ones that'll fit on there. In fact, you know what I think I will do? Because already I'm going to lean my foot and that's going to come out that way. I did say that this was a bit high, didn't I? So what I think I might do is I'm going to drill there. So let me quickly pull this off and I'll show you what I mean. So what I'm thinking instead is I'm going to do that. So I'm going to have that broad base there. Doesn't really need a base that broad, but I think it'll be fine. And that way, when I push forward, because I'm going to do that, pushing forward on my feet, it's not going to want to roll. So there you go. If you are building a footrest, make sure that you have something coming out there to stop the thing rolling. So I'm going to go drill some holes in there on both of these, and then I'll put them back together. So re-drilled, re-screwed, and now when I push forward, it doesn't want to tilt. So nothing left to do but wait until that glue dries. So we'll come back in a couple of hours and I'll put the whole thing together, and then I can have comfy feet when I work. Isn't that amazing? Back in a bit, guys. Here's my little head tucked up in the corner. We're ready to put the final bits together. So I have made these. It turns beautifully. So it's exactly what I need. I'm hoping that that's going to be enough to hold it in. So if it isn't, I'm just going to have to get some longer screws or get a 5/16 die. We'll see how we go. If I have to readjust it, I'll update the comments maybe. I don't know. Will I film it again? We're going to start this again because it's just rubbish. Right. We have given these time to dry. Probably take 24 hours to actually cure properly, but they're dry enough and they're secure enough that we can put this thing together. And this will be ready for Monday, when I have to sit at my desk all day and work. Actually, when I sit at my desk and I edit this video before I post it. So, this goes through there, that goes onto there. You can see it turns quite happily. So all I'm going to do is get a washer. That will do. So I'll have a washer between this and that. I have drilled out the holes for this to go in. So let's get this screwed in and then let's see if it works. It's a footrest. How hard can it be? Okay, we have a footrest. That sits nice like that. It actually seems loose, a bit loose up there, like it's not quite balanced. It could just be a slightly wonky tabletop. I'm not too concerned. Can always adjust things a little bit later on, but that's nice and solid. And I can adjust it by rotating these. Isn't that just awesome? Well, that's where it's most likely going to sit. That looks about right, actually. That looks about like the ones that we used to have at work. If I ever get back to the office, haven't been in there for 5 months, and we've been told we've got another 6 months or so before we get back there. I don't mind. I actually like working from home. All right, guys. Thanks for coming along and watching this. Comment if you like. Subscribe, please. Like if you like. And I will see you in the next video. Not sure what's going to be. Whatever needs doing around the house, whatever I need doing. So, I'll get back to you pretty soon. Chill, guys. Cheers.